Are you looking for a pair of wireless earbuds that are comfortable, sound great, and are reasonably priced? Stay with us as we look at the SoundPEATS Air5 Pro on Let's Talk Tech today. Hi everybody, Mike here. About a year ago I did a review comparing my Apple AirPods Pro 2 earbuds versus my Beats Studio Pro headphones. Which are over-the-ear design. And I had many viewers ask me questions of which ones sound better, which ones are more comfortable, and it always pretty much comes down to personal preference and for how long are you going to be wearing them, what type of environment are you going to be wearing them in, and do you have a preference of a over-the-ear headphone versus in-the-ear earbuds, which many times do become uncomfortable for long-term wear. I also, 6 months ago, picked up a pair of Beats Powerbeats Pro 2 that I will include in the comparison. But SoundPEATS reached out to me a couple weeks ago and asked me if I would do a review of their new Air 5 Pro earbuds. And I thought this was a perfect opportunity to try out a competitor product that isn't directly related to Apple, because all three of these other products are not without their faults, and I'm going to talk in depth what I don't like about these other ones, and I will do an in-depth review of all the features that these offer and everything positive that I like about them, and if there's any negatives that I don't like about them. So let's start off first with the original ones that I had. I've actually since given these to my wife because the number one complaint that I have with these is not staying in my ears and falling out very easily. I tried replacing the ear tips on these, and I don't know if it's just the nature of the way my ear canals are designed, but these fall out quite often on me. And I do not feel comfortable to use them in places like an airplane that falls down and goes under the seat behind you and difficult to find it. So um, I decided last year when I picked the Beats Studio Pro over the ear, I thought this would be a nice solution. I don't have to worry about them falling out my ear canal, and I can easily put these over and listen to music. But one thing that I did find on, or that I do find on these is positional, because the way that these cups go around your ears, depending upon how they might be positioned on your head, you may get a little bit of air leakage, which kind of kills the active noise cancellation. Same with these ones as they slide around in your ear canal. Not only does it make the noise cancellation not as effective, but you're constantly fidgeting with them, and then you have all the touch controls, so you're pausing your music, you're turning your volume up or going to your next music track, and that kind of gets annoying as well. So about 6 months ago, when these Beats Powerbeats Pro 2s were announced, and if you haven't noticed, of all four of these products, the word Pro is common between all four of them. So you assume that these are going to be much better headphones than, say, something that you're picking up for $15 or $20. And I can say I've owned those cheap ones before too, doing yard work. Definitely, these are all superior to the cheaper products that are out there. So let me talk now about the Beats, the Power Beats. And what I thought I was going to like about this is it has the over-the-ear arch on here to keep them in. Unfortunately, it makes it a little bit more difficult to hook them to your ear, that you kind of feel you have to pull them away at times to hook them up like that. But this is not really adjustable. There's actually a piece of metal inside of this rubberized arch, and this adds constant pressure to the back of your ear. And after about 15 minutes or so, that gets very uncomfortable. So what I did is I got a pair of silicone sleeves that are meant for the back of glasses. And what my thought was is by increasing the surface area of this so I didn't have a small pressure point on the ear, that this would help to spread that out. Definitely, it does help tremendously. I do prefer these over these ones. These were a no-go for me. The fact that they constantly kept falling out of my ears. These ones I can comfortably wear for about an hour. I still do get a lot of discomfort on the back of the ear with these. So that's what I don't like about those. And then these ones obviously are pretty much comfortable, and depending upon how you position them, you can get them to have a nice seal for the noise cancellation that you can wear that for more of an extended period of time. But I still am not fully satisfied with all three of them. The other thing that's common between all three of these is a higher price tag, being Apple type products. You are going to spend anywhere from 150 to sometimes upwards of $300 for some of their headphones, or even their I forget the name of them, but the Apple branded ones that are over the ear, they're like $500, and I just can't justify spending that much for a pair of earbuds. But what is nice about the SoundPEATS, now I'm going to talk about all the strengths that this offers against these three products. Regular price, $79.99. Right now, there's a 25% off coupon, and I have an additional 5% code that I have that I will include in the description. That's good through July 16th. So right off the bat, most people, when they're looking at headphones, are probably going to pay more attention first at the price, because you lose these things, or they happen to fall and break. You're not going to be as disappointed after discounts that this is between $50 and $60 versus a pair of $250 ones that happen to break on you, especially if it's a product that you aren't fully satisfied with. Um, these ones, for the past week, I've been using them well around the house, and I can tell you I've not once had these fall out of my ears. That's using the medium and the large tips. I did find that the large tips on these to go into your ear canal did help a little bit more with the active noise cancellation. And maybe that's the problem that I've had with these Apple ones all along, is maybe the ear tips just aren't big enough for me, but I just could never find anything that would make them comfortable. These right out of the box have been comfortable for me, and they do include the additional ear tips for you that are small. The mediums are automatically on them when they are delivered out of the box, which I mentioned I switched those to the large. Listening time on these, they say the average should be 7.5 hours for the earbuds themselves. And then when you put them in the case to recharge them, you can go about 35 plus hours on them. But it depends upon the type of noise cancellation that you're using on these. There's multiple modes that you can choose from the app. And what I did find, I'm averaging about 3.5 to 4 hours. And looking at other reviews on that, that seems to be typical when you're using the adaptive active noise cancellation. And the only reason for that is you've got a lot of processing going on. So it makes sense that you will be using more battery power. These are powered by the Snapdragon S3 chip, and it features Qualcomm's adaptive, or they call it the aptX, APT, and capital X. And I have to say, I'm very impressed with the noise cancellation on this. It is on par with what I'm finding with all three of these Apple products. And I'm sure if you're in the right environment, and you may have to reposition it a little bit, that you may have to move it around a little bit to get that tighter seal again. But I've been completely satisfied with these for the past week using them. It features a 10 millimeter driver in here on each earbud. Each earbud has three microphones that helps for the noise cancellation, again, depending upon the environment that you're in. If you're outdoors and there's vehicles, police sirens, and anything else when you're walking around, that helps to filter those sounds out. And It does have the feature built into this with the app that if you lose them somewhere, you can activate it from your app to say where are they, as long as you're within the vicinity of Bluetooth of about 30 to 40 feet, that you should be able to find them. It doesn't have the pinpointing like the Apple ones have, where when you use it, that it will actually direct you to where they are. And I'll show that with the screen overlay. That is a feature that is nice about Apple that I wish more manufacturers would do on these. But they do not support wireless charging. It's a USB-C plug on the bottom only, which I have no problem with that. Keep it simple, less things to break on it. And the other feature that this does offer is it does allow you to pair it to two different devices. So you can have it paired to your phone and you can have it paired to your computer. So that way, if you're going back and forth between listening to music on your phone and on your computer, you want to watch a YouTube video, that you don't have to go in and change the connections, that it does allow you to connect to the two devices, which is similar to what Apple has, where it will automatically pass over to your other device depending upon which one is active at the moment. This one isn't as automatic of a switch over, that it's based on while you're using the other device, it will notice that, hey, you're using this one now. There is a bit of a time delay. I've noticed sometimes maybe 15 seconds before it'll resynchronize, where Apple's, it's almost instantaneous. So I will give that as a win to Apple, that they have that down perfected. But they also built it to work in unison with their complete ecosystem. So I would expect that out of them. But for a product that is not branded to be Apple only or Microsoft only, I think they did a very great job with these out of the box. Um, as far as negatives to these, there really aren't that many on here, other than I would like to see more than 4 hours of listening time with the active noise cancellation that I do select. But I feel that 4 hours is a great time, that I can wear these for 4 hours without any discomfort and them not falling out of my ears. That's a huge win that none of these other ones can claim that. So I got to give them the top notch on that point. Wireless charging, that would be nice, but again, that's one more thing that can go wrong. It's really not a problem to stick a USB-C cable into this to recharge them. If you can get 35 hours of use and you're using these 4 hours each day, you only have to recharge the case once a week. That's really not a negative to me. And I'm sure they can do some maybe more enhancements on their app in the future, that you'll be able to possibly do some of that directional finding. I know that is based on another chip that Apple puts in their products. So I don't know if any of that type of technology may exist in this, that's something they can implement in the future. But I do want to, I'm going to do an overlay of the app on here. It's called the Peats Audio, and you have to make sure that you're using the correct app, because I initially, when I got these, I put the wrong app on and was asking my contact at SoundPEATS of why are these not being recognized, and they let me know that, well, you have to use the app called Peats Audio and not SoundPEATS, that is on the, at least on the Apple App Store. So that I will include the link to, but it would also be included on the packaging of this, which one to use. But what I do like about this, and it is really kind of cool on this, and this is it's synchronizing to these. Um, you have what they call an adaptive EQ. And basically, when you do that, is you are taking a hearing test with these, and it will test with the different tones, and you just have to click on the app. I can hear it or I can't hear it, and it will customize the sound settings on the equalizer for you. So that way, the sounds that you may have a slight deficit in can be slightly amplified, and this the parameters that you do hear well with, they aren't going to overly amplify those, so everything sounds like it should if you had perfect hearing. And then they also, you can do your own custom ones in here if you want. and they have some preset ones of whether you want more bass, less bass, more treble, if you want it to be classical music, rock and roll. I found the one here that's called ACG. It looks like it has an avatar for the app icon, but I found those to be the best for music listening that I listen to, and I listen to all genres of music. I'm not specific to just one, but I've really been enjoying these for this past week, and these are pretty much becoming my go-to. I'm not going to let go of my the Apple ones. These are nice to be able to sit back and just have some comfort when I'm working and I want to totally um, wipe out the environment around me that I can use those. These are pretty close to over the ear and again being comfortable, so I would not dissuade you from these where these are roughly with the discount you're 3 times more expensive to go to these Beats over the ear ones. These I mentioned, I already gave those to my wife because they just don't work for me. And these ones, the last time I used them was the last time I was on an air flight, and they worked okay for the noise cancellation on a plane, but I did feel that I was constantly maneuvering them, that every now and then the noise would start building up. So I'm intrigued. Hopefully I'll be trying these out in the next couple of months on the next time I'm on a plane, and I hope to have as good of a finding with these as I did around the house. So I just wanted to give my thorough impression of these. As I mentioned, there's very few negatives with these. These are definitely all positives. I would have no problem recommending these to family and friends and all of my viewers to pick up a pair of these. They do come in white, I believe, and these black ones. But for what they offer, you can't go wrong with these. There's no reason why, even on Apple's side, other than they are known for charging more, but on these ones normally being $250. Right now, you can probably pick up the Apple ones for about $180 because rumor is that the AirPods Pro 3s will be released this fall, and I can almost predict that these are probably going to be pushing $299 or maybe even $349 when the version 3s come out, which you're starting to get into a much different territory when you get into those price ranges. You have to be a true audiophile and work in the music industry, or just somebody that has unbelievable hearing where they can notice the differences of one pair over another. But for me, these fit the bill, and I definitely recommend that you check these out. And if you are not already subscribed to our channel, we would appreciate you clicking that and checking out the other videos that we have done in the past. We are quickly coming up on 1,500 subscribers. We would love to hit that mark definitely, and would hope to be able to go to 2,000 and 2,500 subscribers by the end of the year. Click the like. That always helps us, and it helps other people to see this video, to make sure that it shows up in their feed, and share it with your friends and your family. Let them know that maybe it's something that if they're looking for earbuds that you can help them out. So on behalf of all of us at Let's Talk Tech today, we thank you for watching, and we hope you have a fantastic day.